Well, Ubisoft is going free to play this coming year, and there are a ton of games that Ubisoft currently has in mind in order to make those games free to play and also convert these games into live service. And the best example for live service games is GTA Online, which constantly keeps getting updated with new content, new changes being added to the game, and so much more. Now, starting off with the first one, which Ubisoft just announced yesterday, which is Assassin's Creed Infinity. Now, I have made an entire video basically talking about how Infinity is going to become a new live service Assassin's Creed game, which also means that this game could end up being an online multiplayer open world game. Very similar to what we see with GTA Online, and this is also the same approach that Microsoft is doing with Halo Infinite, and it seems like Ubisoft also decided to use the same name as Assassin's Creed Infinity. Now, of course, this game could end up being a free-to-play title with a ton of upcoming content, and of course, when we say free-to-play, this also means that the game could end up having a ton of microtransactions, because if you take a look at the already paid games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and all the other Creed games, you already know that Ubisoft is very keen about microtransactions, and that has been Ubisoft's biggest revenue source as of now, and that's the reason they also keep the game updated for a very long time. And now moving on to the next game, which is something that Ubisoft has already announced, which is Tom Clancy's The Division Heartlands, which is going to be a standalone title coming up this year. Now, Heartlands is basically an open world multiplayer game, which is kind of like a battle royale. At the same time, it's not. But then if you guys have experienced the base Division game, then you guys would probably know the Division is mostly focused towards the loot items, and it seems like Ubisoft is trying to make this unique battle royale kind of a game, which also consists of different RPG loot system. And they've already announced that this game is going to be free to play on all the platforms, meaning the next gen, current gen, as well as on the PC versions. And now moving on to the next free game, which is Roller's Champion. Now, a couple months ago, Ubisoft released a closed alpha for this game, and I actually got invited to try this game out, and I've got to say though, this is one of the most fun games that you will ever get to play. And if you guys are fans of games like Rocket League and mostly these arcade fun type sports kind of a game, then I think you guys are going to have a blast playing the Roller's Champion. And Ubisoft has also confirmed another open beta for this game is coming up very soon, which means that all of you guys will get to try this game out for free, and on full launch this game will also come out as a free-to-play title. And now moving on to the next one, lads, which is Skull and Bones. Remember that pirate game that Ubisoft announced a couple years ago, and then there has been absolutely no updates, no information whatsoever. But then Ubisoft has recently confirmed that they are indeed working on Skull and Bones, and the project is not cancelled. They're trying to make this game as a fully open world and also open world explorable kind of a game, because previously it seemed like Skull and Bone was a game where you as a character could not really explore the world by getting out of your ship. So that has been something the community have been giving feedbacks to Ubisoft and have been requesting a Sea of Thieves kind of an open world game, and that is what Ubisoft is trying to achieve here. And since this game is a multiplayer, it most likely seems like Ubisoft might add in a ton of microtransactions and then push this game into the free-to-play genre, so that way they're still going to be making a hell lot of money. Now, Ubisoft has recently just announced that Skull and Bones is now once again delayed to 2022, which means that we still have an entire year before this game comes out. So don't keep your hopes up for now, because anything could change and projects could always get cancelled. But as of now, it seems like Skull and Bones could most likely end up being one of those free-to-play titles that Ubisoft is aiming to be launching coming next year. And now moving on to the next game, lads, which Ubisoft recently just announced a combination between Splinter Cell's Ghost Recon and Tom Clancy's The Division. So they're basically developing this PvP game, which consists the characters, gameplay mechanics, and the world from all the three different games combined together as one. So that is something that Ubisoft has recently just announced, that they're indeed working on a PvP game. It is going to be a multiplayer only game, no story mode. So for any of you guys who are looking for a Splinter Cell story mode, well, this is not it, lads. It seems like Ubisoft is not showing any interest towards any of the Splinter Cell's games. But as of now, they've already confirmed that this upcoming game is going to be a free-to-play title and will be launching on all the platforms, including the current gen PS4 and Xbox One X. Now, the final game that we're going to be talking about is the Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, this game has been one of the most hyped games out there when it got announced for the very first time from Ubisoft. Ubisoft back in E3 2018, I guess. And ever since then, Ubisoft has completely neglected showing us any more information or gameplay footage or whatsoever. But then back in 2019, Ubisoft out of nowhere just came out with a new gameplay for Beyond Good and Evil 2. And the game is planned to be developed into a multiplayer version. And it seems like Ubisoft is also planning on adding this game into the free-to-play version so that they can make more money off the microtransactions. And also because these games are free-to-play, it has a very high chances of all the players around the world that trying this out. Because of course, when it comes to live service games and free-to-play games, it always means that people are going to try the game because you don't have to pay money. And if you end up liking the game, then you could of course choose to spend more money into microtransaction items like cosmetics, weapons, and whatnot, whatever Ubisoft likes to add in. So keep this in mind, this game could also end up being added to the free-to-play list. So lads, these are all the games that are most likely going to get added to the free-to-play list for Ubisoft's upcoming year's launch. And on my previous video, most of you guys were asking if Ubisoft is going to make that upcoming Avatar Frontier of Pandora's game as a free-to-play title or not. And the answer to that is of course a big no, because this game is indeed going to be a single-player open-world story mode game, which means that there is no multiplayer version as of now at least. So I highly doubt that Ubisoft is going to make this game free-to-play and then expect people to spend money on a brand new franchise that isn't really established. So I don't really think that Avatar is going to be added to the free-to-play versions here. You will of course have to pay the money. So that is how most of the single-player AAA titles are going to end up being. But then when it comes to multiplayer titles, those are the games that are going to go free-to-play, because those are the games which has high potential in order for Ubisoft to make more money off the microtransactions. So lads, like you already know, love to keep all of my videos as short as possible, as on to the point, without really having to drag my videos all the way to 10 minutes long like the other YouTubers. So if short and on to the point videos which doesn't waste your time is something that you guys prefer, then make sure to go ahead and support this video by simply just dropping a like, because your support is very much appreciated as a content creator for myself. And also, since I'm making all of my videos as short as possible, this also means that YouTube is not going to give me ad revenues, so that is still a huge bummer thing. So if you guys could just support me with these likes, that would absolutely mean a lot. And also, if you guys are looking for a YouTube channel that basically covers every single information you need about Assassin's Creed as well as all the upcoming open world games, then make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And also don't forget to turn the notifications on, and the most important step of all, make sure that you guys are setting the notification settings to all. Then the broke guys YouTube platform, they just don't send you guys the notifications of my daily videos. So make sure you guys set it to all. Even if you guys have subscribed to my channel, they're not going to do it until your notification settings is on all. So make sure you guys do it. With that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy fams, and goodbye.